Welcome Minneapolis. Time now for the championship of the 500-yard freestyle. And there we see the NCAA record set 3 years ago by Florida's Kieran Smith. And a couple of Texas Longhorns will be in the middle of the pool. David Johnson, who was the top seed, and then Luke Hobson for the Longhorns, who had the fourth fastest 200-yard split in the freestyle relay earlier in the meets. And there is Johnson, Big 12 champion just a couple of weeks ago for the Texas Longhorns. 4:10.02 personal best this morning. Sixth in this event last year.
He's going to be one of these guys that you're definitely going to want to watch from the international stage.
Now let's take a look at the lane assignments. There is Jake Mitchell, the 2020 Olympian. 46th in this event last year. Here he is now in the A final. Jake Newmark of Wisconsin dropped over 2 seconds earlier today for this Big Ten champ of the 500 free. Gabriel Jett in lane 3 for the Cal Bears, a sophomore, and he has had just a brilliant season for Cal. Top seed entering these championships. And here is David Johnson. 6th in this event last year for the Longhorns. Luke Hobson, and he is not a dark horse. He is a legitimate threat to win this race. He's in lane 5. Alfonso Mestre of Florida in lane 6. His second consecutive championship final in the 500. Jake McGahee in lane 7. He was the national champ 2 years ago for the Georgia Bulldogs. National runner-up last year to Matthew Sates. And Ross Stant, the senior from Hickory, North Carolina for the Wolfpack of NC State. For the championship final of this event each of the last 2 years, finishing 8th. So those are the 8 contenders for the 500-yard national championship. And there is Luke Hobson, and boy, his story has been huge so far in this meet.
Yeah, 29 plus, as you said, leading off that 800 free relay. There's Gabriel Jett, just had a tremendous year, really improved dramatically. He was 24th in this event last year. Had a chance to win it here. You know, these are big boys here. I think there's 48 swimmers here tonight and only 3 freshmen. So this is an event that is left for the elder statesmen, so to speak. Although Luke Hobson is just a sophomore, and I like him. I like him in this race, really just based on one event. That's just the 200 freestyle, but that was one spectacular leadoff for Texas and got them off to a great start to win and break that record in the 800 free relay earlier.
So technically, how do you expect this race to be swung?
Well, I think Johnson and Hobson, if they do similarly this morning, they'll be out quickly, and then McGahee right there in lane number 7 will swim the back half. He negative split his race in the preliminaries. He's 205, 205.3. 5.553 this morning, so he's going to have to do it all in the back half, but he can't let these guys get away from him too much if he's going to have a chance. Remember, he is the 3rd fastest swimmer in history, so you do not want to discount what he's capable of doing here. That's, again, McGahee, and he is the junior, so he's got a little bit more experience.
Hobson still in the lead. Advantage, disadvantage for Hobson and Johnson knowing each other's styles and practice against each other.
I think it works perfectly for him, Patrick. I mean, they do this every day in practice, so they know each other and they can help each other in a big way, especially if they're close. You can see maybe Johnston dragging off of Hobson a little bit, getting up next to him, ride that wave a little bit, and then propel them both. They don't care who wins, but trust me, if Johnston or Hobson both go 1-2, they're not going to care, because here all that matters is points. And of course you're going to have a little ego in it. You want to beat your teammate, but most importantly, let's try to go 1-2. Right now Texas is right there.
Well, here's the midway mark of this race. Hobson's still in the lead. We'll check his split. Touches at 2:02.59 at midway mark, with Johnson second, Mestre of Florida in lane 6 is third.
That's about a second faster than he went in prelims. Now Johnson swims a great 800 and 1500. He was 5th at the World Championships in the 800. He also finaled in the 1500. So you know this guy right there is going to have a back half. That's the 300 mark. Good splits right there. They're both 50 points. I don't see anybody else coming back against these guys. And this is so important for Texas because they didn't quite have enough swimmers in here to match Cal this morning, although they did have the diving. That's going to help them tremendously. I think by the end of the night, Cal and Texas are going to be virtually tied.
Rowdy, 4 of the last 5 splits of Hobson and Johnson have been within 1/10 of a second. I mean, they're just kind of pacing each other along.
Every day. They do it every day, man. I mean, this is just old school for them because look at these guys right now. And they're feeling it right now. Again, these guys are not going to die. Hobson's not going to come back. Now, you know he's looking over there to his right, looking at McGahee. McGahee's starting to make a charge, but with 100 yards left to go, unless he puts something really special in here, this last 100, and here he comes. Here he comes, but he has a lot of room to make up. A lot of room.
Still Hobson, this now appears to be the biggest lead he's had in this race.
McGahee looks like he may end up going by Johnston.
There's the bell, 50 yards to come. And now a body length lead for the Reno, Nevada sophomore from Texas, Luke Hobson.
Yeah, Hobson outsplit him by 3/10 there, but no way, nobody's catching Hobson. Boy, what a double for him. 29 plus on the 200 freestyle, leading off that relay. Now he's going to win the 500.
So here comes Hobson, flanked by his teammate Johnson. The sophomore stretches, touches the wall. He's a national champ. 4:07:37. That is the fastest time in America this year.
And Texas goes 1-2.
Johnson for second. McGahee a close third.
37 points.
Let's go!
You see what I'm saying? Who won that race? It wasn't Johnston. He might as well have won it, though, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's great teamwork. They're both excited for each other. They both went 1-2. That's the guy that got second. Oh, both of them right next to each other. As I said, just battling it out every day in practice. That had to help them here, being right next to each other. And then Johnston holds off this guy, charging McGahee, again, the 3rd fastest swimmer in history. And holds him off. And the Longhorns pick up 37 huge points.
Hobson was 4:10.5 earlier. He's 4:07:37 to become the national champion. David Johnson second, Jake McGahee third. The 2 Longhorns are with Elizabeth.
Luke, your first NCAA individual title, and it's the first individual title here at this meet. It's a 1-2 for the Texas Longhorns. What are your initial reactions to this incredible showing tonight?
I'm super excited, super happy to finish 1-2 with Dave and do the points on the board for Texas. It's a great start.
You talk about team, and you guys are just doing what you do every single day in practice. In terms of working hard and having a teammate with you beside you the entire race, how much easier does it make it to get through a 500?
So much easier. So Luke and I have a little saying that we have bonding time when we race each other. We do it every day in practice. We talked about going 1-2 a lot this year. We really believed it could happen. And my friend back at home, Peter Paulus, also believed it was possible, told us that. So I'm just so happy to be here with Luke. He's one of my best friends, and this is just a moment I'll never forget. Hook 'em horns.
Congratulations, guys. You made it happen.
So Luke Hobson, David Johnson. Longhorns 1 and 2, collecting 37 points. Hobson stepped into the spotlight earlier in the meet, the 200 free relay, and becomes a national champ in the 500.
We are.
There have been 80.
Young man.
Back inside the Jane Freeman Aquatic Center in Minneapolis, getting ready for the awards ceremony. First event of the night, the 500-yard freestyle. I was actually in the hotel elevator with these Longhorns coming down. I asked them about the hats, Rowdy, and similar to the women's swim team of Texas that we saw last week in Knoxville, they said there's really no rhyme or reason on the color of the hats that they wear. But they were wearing them on the elevator, and these two are wearing them now for the awards ceremony. Luke Hobson, national champion, just a sophomore. David Johnson, the junior from Dallas, national runner-up.
Still young kids. Hobson only 19 years of age. Johnston, 21.
And now the award ceremony. Mestre of Florida finishing 8th. There's Ross Dant of NC State. Finishing 7th, about 5 seconds off the pace. Here's Gabriel Jets of Cal. 6th place finish for the sophomore of Columbus, California. There's Jake Mitchell finishing 5th in his first year with the Gator program.
What a swim for this guy, right? Newmark, Patrick, his best finish last year was 41st in the 200 backstroke. Jeez, that's special.
All-American finishing 4th. There's McGahee, 3rd place finish at 4:09.2. David Johnston of the Texas Longhorns, Big 12 champion, national runner-up, to his teammate Luke Hobson, whose parents both swam at USC. They're certainly big Longhorn fans now. And this is a race that Texas dominated earlier in the decade. They won 5 in a row before Georgia came back and won back-to-back. But with Hobson as a sophomore, Johnson as a junior, this race might be tilting back for the future for Texas. And you are right, Rowdy. It was obvious when that race ended. David Johnson was more excited for Hobson's national championship than Hobson was. So here's an updated look at the standings. Texas now jumps back into the lead, +8 on Florida. Arizona State shuffled down to 5th, but 21 points separate 1 through 5.